Good evening, and welcome to our 21st Annual Community Service Awards Night. Tonight, we're here to recognize almost 500 students, each of whom dedicated at least 20 hours to volunteering during 2020. You can follow along in the event program emailed to you earlier, and the link to the program is also listed on your YouTube page. I'd like to give a special thanks to Senior Sheena Graberg for designing the cover of this year's program. At this time, I'd like to thank some people who worked to put this evening together. First, Melissa Dempsey, Bobby Chauzzi, our community service program staff. In addition, I'd like to thank Dan Drinkwater, our studio manager, who has coordinated the audio-visual portion of this event with his students. As always, thank you to Brendan Hearn for pulling all the pieces together. Finally, thank you to the PTSO and to the many parents, families, and students and community members that make this evening possible, and those of you who help support the community service program and our students. Tonight, you'll also hear from Superintendent Peter Light, Associate Principal Betty Baker, and Kay Steves, our longtime community service coordinator who retired from AB several years ago and now supports the administrative team. We're delighted to have you with us. At this time, I'd like to ask Betty Baker to share more about our student volunteers.
Thank you, Larry. Tonight, you will see students from all 4 grades who have made a significant commitment to community service over the past year. The students at ABRHS volunteered over 40,000 hours in 2020. I am always amazed by the number of hours and the number of students and how they continue to make service a part of the culture at AB. During an especially challenging year, our students still found a way to give back to our community. Watching our students react and pivot almost instantaneously to the changing needs and priorities of our community this year has been awe-inspiring. From adapting in-person projects into online events and celebrations, sewing masks for our healthcare workers, helping friends and neighbors, to their activism and overwhelming support of and empathy with everyone in the community. Our students have always made a strong impact on our community, and tonight we have invited several students to speak about their volunteer experiences. Our first student speaker is David Song.
Hi everyone, as some of you may know, my name is David Song and I'm a senior this year at AB. 2 years ago, in the summer before my sophomore year, I went on a volunteering mission, the first of 3 that I participated in between my sophomore and junior years. I got in contact with a college professor in China, and he agreed to let me join a group of college students who would serve as teachers in a village middle school. Even though the village is deep in the mountains, taking days just to get there, I figured this would be a piece of cake. I also couldn't have been more wrong. The plan was for me, my mother, and the college students to visit the school, and while they taught, I would prepare for the following summer. However, upon arrival, I was assigned a teaching role. As a rising sophomore, I felt inexperienced compared to the college students who easily led classes. However, I now had 5 teaching periods, and I remember stumbling my way through my lessons about Dr. Seuss and American pop culture that I hastily threw together using Surface, Bing, and some PowerPoint slides. The students, didn't seem to mind though, as every couple of sentences they would ask questions like, why is the ball so weird, referring to an American football? Or do you just blow the snow away with big fans when I show them a picture of my driveway during the winter, of course. To be honest, I found them absolutely hilarious, and they seemed to think I was funny too, although they may be wrong about that. But however, when the week was over, I felt that I did not do the best that I could have. And I really, really wanted another chance just to prove that I could teach them better. I really felt that I'd made a connection with the students that I taught. And for their sake, I promised to do better the following year. Back in the United States, I began fundraising with an organization, the Super Joey Foundation. Throughout the school year, we planned events and spread word about our mission. By the end of June, we raised, I think, around $1,000 and received multiple suitcases full of books and equipment through donations. I prepared a 4 gigabyte USB drive of PowerPoint presentations and photos about American culture in English. Before I knew it, the summer rolled around and I was back in China. Despite last year's experience and preparation beforehand, I still felt outside my comfort zone. While I grew familiar with the culture and living conditions there, the language barrier disconnected me slightly from the students. Understanding the dialect was still a struggle. And teaching English reading and writing to 60 kids who had never learned proper grammar and phonetics was no small task either. But on the other hand, I no longer felt completely foreign, even though sometimes the little language barrier would be an issue. Kids would reach out to me for help or really just to talk and have fun. The people I taught with invited me to go out and have a late night barbecue with them. We played some touch football, and I have to say, some of them got really good. Uh, I was one of the first people the kids went to when one of them accidentally hurt himself playing on the stairs. To my shock, he had already walked a mile or so down to the hospital with a gaping slash in his leg just so that we wouldn't worry about him. The kids that we were working with were some of the most compassionate and easily toughest people that I knew. As the week ended, we spent the final night celebrating. I began to smile as I watched everyone run around laughing and singing. We had bought them a big cake with a bag of extra frosting, and that frosting was now being smeared over everyone's faces, mine included. It, my smile was a smile of happiness, knowing that I had helped open their eyes, and one of gratitude towards them for opening mine. I really hope that we would see each other again, and that me or everything that the college students and I did had succeeded. Although I did know something for certain, and that was I will forever remember what they taught me. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your volunteer experience with us tonight. And now I would like to welcome Superintendent Peter Light, who will reflect on the life and works of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and the importance of service as we approach the national holiday on Monday.
Good evening. I'm pleased to be with you tonight as we recognize you, our students, for your community service. I'm equally pleased to be able to share a few thoughts about the significance of community service as we simultaneously honor Dr. Martin Luther King and his legacy. I think that one of the fundamental teachings of Dr. King was that through service, we can help create a better world for the people around us. I think it's particularly important to remember that through our service and the various issues and causes we adopt, our focus should remain on people and making the world a better place for us and them. As 2020 has played out, we have seen a level of increased activism in our country that has the potential to affect much needed positive change. At the same time, however, we have seen a breakdown in our ability as citizens and neighbors to engage in a dialogue that maintains our humanity. Issues have begun to take priority over people, and I believe we are seeing a society become so polarized around issues that we are losing our human connection with each other. The challenge of maintaining this human connection is being exacerbated not only by the pandemic and our ability to connect with each other physically, but by social media algorithms that filter communication we receive and perpetuate anonymity that dehumanizes the people with whom we interact. So I would challenge you all to make your thinking more complex around community service by keeping in the forefront of your minds the notion that the most basic and fundamental way we can make the world a better place is to treat each other well. As you develop into your passion in life for causes you choose to pursue, please remember to keep your focus on people first and treat them well. I believe this is one of the fundamental teachings of Dr. King in a way that we can all honor his legacy. So congratulations to each of you. I also want to congratulate Ms. Dempsey for all of her work, as well as the countless faculty who support these efforts. Thank you as well to everyone involved in making this virtual event meaningful for our community, and to Mr. Dory and his entire administrative team for their work in supporting this incredible program. And now, I would like to introduce our next student speaker, Baichi.
Volunteering to me is about the sentiment of community, a community that is powered by the desire to both share and learn from one another's unique perspectives on the world, and to collaborate with each other to achieve a common goal or purpose. I personally got into volunteering because I love both talking to and learning from other people. One of my favorite volunteering experiences is one that many AB students are also a part of, the peer mentoring program. I mentored Chinese 3 and 4 last year, and I'm continuing to mentor all the Chinese classes remotely this year. Teaching definitely isn't easy. I realized that if I wanted the students to stay engaged, I had to take a more creative approach. For one of my lessons, I asked the students if they would like me to read in different character voices. Their faces suddenly lit up. Absolutely. That day, I performed the dialogue, transforming the classroom into a live, interactive comedy show. On review day, we played games, Pictionary, Hot Seat, and my personal favorite, creating a story out of a vocab words. The students' genuinely engaged reactions to these activities made me understand that learning doesn't have to be rigid, and vocab can be applied in exciting ways. Above that, it made me see that thinking from the student's perspective is essential to effective teaching. Teachers are superheroes, and I use my power to immerse the students into a lively and imaginative space. On my birthday, I was greeted by the sound of the class singing, 祝你生日快乐. As I walked back to my seat, a student gifted me a ring pop and a letter that wrote, "Thank you for getting me through this class. You know we're gonna sing for you." Our words became stepping stones in our stories and the bridge to our infectious laughter. The interactive and entertaining classroom was yet another way that language enabled a collective community of different perspectives, backgrounds, and interests. Volunteering allows us to create so many meaningful connections with people from all different backgrounds, ages, and perspectives. It also builds one of our most important human skills, the ability to engage meaningfully within a community. Love and kindness are paramount to being a human. And through volunteering, we have the power to share our love and kindness with others, which makes a huge impact. When we help others grow, we grow in return. And that's the power of volunteering. Thank you.
Thank you, Bay, for your wonderful speech. And thank you to Superintendent Light for making the connection between our community service recognition event and the life and works of Dr. King and this important holiday. And now for the awards portion of the evening. While we wish we could congratulate each and every one of you in person, our thanks and congratulations are no less sincere or heartfelt from a distance. Every year, our students are recognized in several different categories, determined by their age and by the number of hours they volunteered during the calendar year. There's a list of our student names and award categories in the online program. The first award presented tonight is the ABRHS Volunteer Service Award. Students who volunteered 20 to 49 hours at age 15 and younger, and students who volunteered 20 to 99 hours at age 16 and older, have all earned the ABRHS Volunteer Service Award. We have 231 students in this category. Congratulations to all of you. The next three sets of awards fall under the President's Volunteer Service Award. This national program began in 2003 and is designed to encourage students to make a significant commitment to community service. This year, we have 230 students who have earned the President's Volunteer Service Award. The next group to be recognized, the students are receiving the bronze level President's Volunteer Service Award. These students volunteered 50 to 74 hours at age 15 and younger, or 100 to 174 hours at age 16 and older. Please join me in congratulating the 97 students who have earned the bronze level President's Volunteer Service Award. And now we'd like to recognize the students receiving the silver level President's Volunteer Service Award. These students volunteered 75 to 99 hours at age 15 and younger, or 175 to 249 hours at age 16 and older. Please join me in congratulating the 42 students who have earned the silver level President's Volunteer Service Award. And the last group to be recognized tonight is receiving the Gold Level President's Volunteer Service Award. These students volunteered 100 or more hours at age 15 and younger, or 250 or more hours at age 16 and older. Please join me in congratulating the 90 students who have earned the Gold Level President's Volunteer Service Award. And to all our student volunteers, congratulations on your incredible accomplishment. You're making a difference in our community and inspiring everyone around you. Thank you from all of us at AB. Next, we would like to present the annual Student Volunteer Slideshow. Kay Steves will tell you more about these students.
Hi. One of my favorite parts of Community Service Awards Night is the slideshow, in which we see all the different ways that our students use their talents to volunteer. We also see the smiles on their faces. This has been a very different year, but our students have risen to the challenge, and I invite you to watch many of them in action in this retrospective put together by Dan Drinkwater and his students. Some of the traditional activities had to be modified, of course, so seniors turned their community service day into a reading project to benefit elementary students. Juniors turned their usual fall raking day into a project to connect with senior citizens. And many of our individual volunteers managed to work as tutors, as coaches, as camp counselors, and as hospital and museum volunteers. Students worked with children, with animals, with computers, with books, and so on. So be assured, volunteering at AB is alive and well.
Thank you again to Dan Drinkwater and his students for putting together our community service retrospective. I'd like to take this final opportunity to personally acknowledge the students being recognized here this evening. The community service program at Acton-Boxborough is a volunteer program and not a graduation requirement. As Associate Principal Baker said earlier, it is part of the AB culture. Thank you to our students for continuing a legacy of caring at AB, and in the spirit of Dr. Martin Luther King, we honor you. We hope you've enjoyed this evening. Thank you very much for being with us, and congratulations again to all our student volunteers.